Absolutely. The rapture is not, the rapture before plagues are not biblical. You find me this one, I'll give you my deed to my house.
Okay.
Better start reading this book, man.
You said give you to the house. So
I'll give you a deed to my house. You
I
find
want the
me.
car and the bank too. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, okay, you see, this is why we have that highlighted, believe it or not, because see, some people do believe that that the rapture is still supposed to happen. That he just kind of made a mistake, and he's human; he can make a mistake, and so now, so
You have
I'm
to
jumping
go
around today because some of the subjects that you see on the show is going to address some of those issues.
right.
And we talk about them. If you're a real person out there and you really want to answer some of these things, you think you can bring to the table the answers, we welcome you on the show. Just like Philip and his friend, we just grab them, we snatch them. We'll snatch you right on the show so that you can tell us the answer, because we really want to know the answer.
You should check out our YouTube videos, which has already been put up, and check out, we have many different subjects, we already talk about it, and you really guys should just go ahead and subscribe.
Mrs. God?
Well, it's about, one of the biggest controversial ones, which is I even almost lost a friend, but he came back. Decided to be back after he couldn't prove it wrong. It's about God's wife, the wisdom, Shakana. This is the hardest conversation to even have it. You really need to check it out before you listen. Now, there is another one about 2012 and the last 7 plagues. There is the major topics of the Bible prophecies. There is another one. And also on the sovereignty. I had a really good show on the sovereignty to debunk 60-minute show of making all the sovereign looks bad. So it's really not what's happening.
We have a lot of exciting shows that's coming on. And we also have community action one where we had oxen that came to Kalamazoo and plowed a little field. Big old oxen. These was, like the Clydesdale, the big horses. Well, these were the Clydesdale of oxen, so they were pretty big. And they controlled them, showed how they went out. And we're going to be looking at businesses like Urban Blends restaurant. It's a new restaurant that's open up in the community, for the community, and almost by the community. And they have events there every Saturday night, that live mic there. And they're God-centered too. I was amazed when I went there. I just felt, really impressed to tell people about that. Anyway, those are just some of the subjects I wanted to explain why I was kind of jumping around on different things. Because I still want to make you all welcome. You're welcome on the show anytime. You come through. If I got too many people, I know how to, restage it. We can have 10 people up here if we need to. But we do intend to find the answer to some of these problems. Then we want to implement it. We want to be able to go out into society and do some of the things that we're talking about.
And let's do
one of the problems is talking about it. Now, before we get into that, because Andre is a zealot, God put me near him so I would slow him down. He put him near me so I would hurry up.
Yep.
So we'll have this balance.
But with equal
one white, one black, one from America, one from Russia.
Exactly.
You got it.
Here. I love it.
And so nobody can argue with us. We got it all covered,
Yep.
So anyway, let me just say this. We have a list of things that the insurance companies, that's another problem we talked about. Oh man, I'm still burning from what the insurance company did to me. But I learned the lesson the hard way, okay? So I'm telling you out there, I'm telling everybody out there, if you have an insurance claim, go for it, nail them to the wall. Don't listen to any excuses. Have all your evidence, put it all together. Do not take no for an answer, because they are nothing but crooks. Now, they can come and get me and say it,
nope. But
I'm telling you, I hasn't been one insurance company that I've had to fight to get my services done that it was due after I paid my premium. And, I'm not afraid to say it, I thought I had a decent insurance company in my glove compartment. But after they got through with me, I might as well have pulled out a roll of toilet paper and said, this is what my insurance paper is written on. I'm not going to get, I want to be gracious. I'm not naming that company yet. But anyway, we're going to have a list of them because there's a list. Did you know that there's a list of the 10 worst insurance companies? And my goodness, some of the ones that got the best advertisement are among the worst.
Oh, yeah.
And, huh?
I might have one.
Uh-oh, watch out now.
I don't care.
Okay, but anyway, that's what
I
we're
will
going to talk
slender all
about,
of them.
that, and those are general things. And then we got tips for tenants. You know, when you move in, I have a friend right now that's having a problem with a tenant that, you know, water be leaking in the basement, all other kind of problems, you know what I'm saying? And so, and they don't want to fix the problem, but they want the money.
Let me, as a landlord, let me
Want
tell you
money,
something.
but they don't want to fix the problem.
Since I'm
Yeah,
a landlord, let me debate
you ever
on
heard
that.
that before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fix the problem. No. Give me the money. Yes. Okay. So anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Well, what they should do, if you have a problem like that, record it.
Okay.
Record it, take a video camera, record it, document. And first thing you do before you can go into an apartment, go through it with a video camera. So you see the before and the after.
Boy, you're experienced. I like that.
Never
Bring it to the table. This is what we want. Real answers. What
right.
do
We don't want no one to assume that it was like this and assume that it wasn't like that. When you have proof and facts and documents, you stand out in the court of law.
Okay.
Because that way, when you take your complaint to the court, you understand that they have the proof, the document, which will be on your side. At no time would you ever want to take matters into your own hand. So that video camera is very
That's
important.
so true.
Video camera is very important.
There's a temptation to just bodily throw the person out or bodily grab the landlord. But
No,
I should
video
warn you
cameras.
that there's laws in place against that. So
Yes.
you can't do it as bad as you would like to. But that's why we have a judicial system. But that's why Friends of Justice encourages you to study that judicial system. Because if you don't, you will get burned by that judicial system, even though you're the innocent party, or even though you deserve to have justice. It will not be met. We won a case that eventually netted the person $950,000, but the judicial system had done them terribly wrong. They had to wait 4 years, fight 4 different times, go through several lawyers. Because, oh man, I won't even get into that. Because Andre has something he wants to present to us, and I slowed him down long enough. His adrenaline is pumping. He's ready to show it. So go for it, Andre. And I just wanted to wet your tongues. We're going to be talking about some of those things about the judicial system and how to deal with it. It's not called jargon. Understand, it's called legal language. Okay, so if it's jargon to you, that means you haven't studied it.
Exactly.
Okay,
Right. Yeah.
It should not be jargon to you. When you go into court, you need to understand everything
Yep.
that's happening. And Friends of Justice is encouraging a lot of people to get on the road, start reading books like the new Jim Crow law, get you a Black's Law dictionary,
yep.
Understand the symbols, understand things that are surrounding you, things that you need to know. And one of the important issues, we can give you the answer, but it's just like I was telling somebody else, you know. I showed my little grandson how to play chess. And he's 4 years old. He can beat some people right now because they don't even know what the pieces are. He knows what the pieces are. He can tell you what the pieces are. But he don't know how to move them yet. But when he learns how to move them, he still won't know the game.
That's right.
And some of us that know the game still don't know the big game. And so you have to study to show yourself approved. That's what the Bible said. And we're not leaving the Bible out. I talk about a lot of secular things, but that's why we got a Bible here, because the Bible, it was the foundation for all the legalness, all the rules, all the justice. God continues to be the one and only judge, the righteous judge that shall rule. One day, everybody is going to be judged according to their works, according to how they behave. And let me say this, God is not a man that he should lie. God says, be ye not deceived. God is not mocked. Whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. So make sure that what you plant seeds of kindness and goodness, because it's going to come back on you.
Yeah.
It may not in this lifetime, like you see it, but guess what? Your children might reap it.
Yeah,
Your family might reap it. and eventually you will reap it. Because if you don't get it straight before the judgment, and you may not believe this, so let me stop. You know, I forgot. There's a lot of unbelievers out there.
Yep.
You want to
Might not believe what?
They might not believe what I'm saying, you know, about God. Some people just don't believe that God is. And the Bible says without faith, it is impossible to please God. And that's the reason why, is because you have to first believe that He exists. If you don't believe that God exists, how are you going to fear Him? Okay?
That's right.
If you believe that He exists, then you need to fear Him. You need to get to know Him. You need to understand the enemy and get to know the enemy. Before they go into battle, they don't say, well, we don't know what this enemy going to do. Well, if you don't know what that enemy going to do, he's going to kick your natural long booty. And I mean it. Yes, I said it. Okay, now, go Andre.
All right, so today we're really going to be concentrating is about something called MERS scandal. MERS stands for Mortgage Electronic Registration System. And all of you listeners who never had to deal with bankers on any of these issues, on special forbearance, repayment plans, modifications, short refinance, short sales, cash for keys, deed in lieu foreclosures, or any foreclosures at all, especially here in Michigan, all the foreclosures are being voided, especially down to MERS. So if you had your house bought and then later on you received the voucher which you have to pay to somebody else, that's an indication that your case could be won in courts, and you need to start really paying attention, because I'm going to get into the little short history of what the MERS scandal is all about. And this is probably going to be the most shocking news to you at all. So let me start with the things what's in the Bible. There was a story in the Bible where the king wants to settle with his servants. And to him was brought a servant, and he owned 10,000 denarii. And pretty much king ordered to sell his house, his wives, his daughters, his everything to pay the debt. But the servant fell and started asking king to cancel his debt. That's a key word, cancel his debt. And king fell prostrate, and he actually canceled his debt.
Okay.
So then the servant came out of the courtroom, and he saw his fellow servant who owes him 10 denarii. He goes and started choking him and took him to jailers and make him pay all this little stuff. But then another fellow servant saw what's happened. Okay, and all of a sudden he goes and tells the masters, and the masters came and told the king what just happened. And then the king brought up the servant in front of him again, and because he done so wickedly, and you'll see it on the bottom of our screen, the whole verse, he was made to repay the whole debt again. So let me tell you how it's exactly to the point it's happened in my life. So as we know, there's a lot of terminology in the Bible. Servants, maiden servants, the kings. So if we'll live, let's say, in our country, United States, and we'll go by these rules, who is our king, let's say? Let's pretend it's a president of Obama. Let's say like a king. Okay. The servants, who would be the servants? Is agencies.
Right.
Okay. Bankers.
That's right, because they
banks
work for him, right.
is the agency. So there is all of a sudden the bankers who got bailed out in 2008, didn't they?
They sure
got
did.
$700 billion.
800 billion.
And we'll get into it. Where the money came from?
Yeah.
So you ask me that question later on.
Yeah.
So then they were canceled. All their pretty much fraud they've done, and they were supposed to be good to the people. Instead, what they have done, they lied to you. They told you to modify your loan. Then they kicked you out of the house. They broke into your house. They intimidate you any kind of ways to leave your house, thinking you're a bad person who can't pay the bills. In reality, all they've done is just trying to cover up their fraud, because all they do, their father is accused